Over in the pages of Marvel Comics, it's been fascinating to see the publisher get ready to head into the massive gang war storyline over in the core Amazing Spider-Man series. It feels like right now, over at Marvel Comics, there's several readers who are a little bit tired of seeing these massive event-style storylines. Several issues ago, readers got to see the wedding of Janice Lincoln and Randy Robertson play out in disastrous form, causing Janice's father, known as Tombstone, to be shot. This has created a fascinating power gap over among the crime lords over in New York City, causing Amazing Spider-Man to head into a massive gang war. My name is Ariko Braddock, and today, let's go ahead and discover issue 39, kicking off this momentous storyline. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button over on this video. Gang war kicks off here, supercrime is running rampant, and Spider-Man can't solve just one problem at a time. So, Spidey builds a team to take them all down, all of the super criminals in New York City in 48 hours. Good luck, Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man issue 39 is written over from Zeb Wells, featuring art from John Romita Jr. We have inks from Scott Hanna, colors from Marcio Menyz, letters from VC's Joe Caramagna, and the cover for the issue is coming in over from John Romita Jr., Scott Hanna, and Marcio Menyz. I have quite a lot to say about John Romita Jr.'s art throughout Amazing Spider-Man 39. I think this cover is an incredibly epic way to capture some of the momentous first battle over between Spider-Man's brand new gang war team and all the members of the crime lords over in New York City. I want to extend a big thank you to Adventures in Poor Taste and preview more of the incredibly epic art opening up this issue. Author Zeb Wells manages to introduce this epic gang war over in a massive battle between a couple crime lords consisting of the Crime Master and Ringmaster duking it out over on the Upper East Side. Really watching this battle over for control of these territories was quite epic, and I love how it served as the backdrop for our new heroes that Spider-Man assembled last issue to take on a massive battle over amidst the gang war here. I really love some of the banter that Zeb Wells has between all these disparate characters, and I think the pacing of the Amazing Spider-Man is really strong, even heading into this gang war story. We were introduced to the idea of Spider-Man working alongside a team over in the last issue, and in this next issue, 39, we get to see Spider-Man's new team represented over on the page in earnest here. I really appreciated over in this issue how there was all this really fascinating banter over between She-Hulk and Spider-Man. Later on in some of these pages, Zeb Wells even taps into Jennifer's legal background to create a scenario fitting for both of these two individuals here. Also, when our team of Spider-Man adjacent characters finally battle against the crime lords over in the Upper East Side, there's a great sense of composition and storytelling from John Romita Jr. I think across Amazing Spider-Man issue 39, we see some of the strongest interior art over from Romita Jr. in quite some time. I have a few theories as to why this is. The main one is just the fact that Romita Jr. is so great at capturing the tension over with some of these crime-ridden characters with these massive facial expressions and hulking outfits here. We'll go ahead and return to this a little bit later on in the review as we cover the other crime lords. I was so excited to see Janice Lincoln return to the pages of Amazing Spider-Man. I think this issue found a really welcome backdrop to introduce her in. I think John Romita Jr. was able to feature Janice over as the Beetle in a really epic fashion within the narrative here too. Watching Janice go up against Mariah in this incredibly dark scenario really, I think, pulls on all the potential over with the gang war. I love the fact that we've been following Janice for such a long time, and this is how Zeb Wells chooses to pay off some of those plot threads involving the various characters here. One of the aspects I was most excited about during Gang War was the idea of Tombstone heading back over into the Amazing Spider-Man narrative. I thought it was so interesting how both Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. always have a hard time keeping the tension up between these two characters and really showing an unlikely friendship forming over between the duo thankfully, Amazing Spider-Man has some of those same instances, and there's just really beautiful facial expressions for Tombstone throughout this issue. Romita Jr. is so fantastic at illustrating his face in a really cold and dark demeanor over across this issue. The really tense facial expressions and inner politics among all these characters is a really important aspect of this particular issue here. There were also some really fantastic sequences over with Madame Mask and Hammerhead in this storyline. I am loving how this storyline is developing also from the narrative impetus over an Amazing Spider-Man Gang War First Strike. Also, I was really impressed that this issue called out some of the relationships over with Spider-Woman and Diamondback. I think the debut issue of Spider-Man was just fantastic, and having the Amazing Spider-Man serving as the backdrop to introduce that narrative is really, really fascinating. I also found Luke Cage working alongside some of the rest of the members of the city as the mayor in order to put a stop to this to be incredibly intriguing. And I also found that Wells did just a fantastic job really establishing the relationship over between She-Hulk and Spider-Man later on in the comic book issue. So at the end of the day here, I think Amazing Spider-Man 39 is an incredible issue of the main series, really cashing in on all the complex character relationships and establishing the idea of the gang war and all these really fascinating concepts. I think the way that all these territories are divided over between these Spider-Man crime lords is super fascinating. And once again, the fact that Wells has already sowed the plot threads in so many previous issues of the series has me really interested in checking out whatever the next stage over in the storyline brings. Also, I think John Romita Jr. is really in his element here. It's fantastic to have an Amazing Spider-Man story that really plays into John Romita's strengths as an artist. I think as the years have gone, Romita's style has only developed in a very specific way, and I don't think every single issue of Amazing Spider-Man Romita's drawn has really played into what he can truly deliver as an artist. So I'm really, really happy that our team finally found a strong outlet over for his work. I want to know from you, did you enjoy this series as much as I did? What were your thoughts on this issue in particular? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for coming to check out our video review over on Amazing Spider-Man 39. And we'll see what else the Gang War has in store when this series releases in the very near future. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.